I figure I should make a positive list every now and then to break the pattern of only having negative ones. This one is based on a topic I enjoy debating with other people, which is which ultimates are the best in the game. Of course, there are tons of variables and situations which would make certain ultimates better than others, but due to my jungle nature, I tend to rank ultimates and abilities based on other qualities than most other people. In my opinion, ultimates that have immediate impact, versatility, multiplicative values, and create opportunities are the best in the game. Some ultimates are rather single-minded, like Katarina's ultimate dealing only damage, although it is quite a lot of damage, or painfully reliant on being set up, such as Yasuo's ultimate. This list is my opinion on what the top 5 ultimates in the game are. For the sake of sanity, all immortality and revival ultimates such as Yorek's and Zillion's are automatically disqualified because their value is between 0 and infinity and all the variables affecting them are cumbersome. I also have to say that it is a top 5 list for time reasons. There are plenty of strong ultimates that won't be mentioned here, but they likely would have found their place in this list if it was a top 10 or top 15. Number 5 is Nunu's Absolute Zero. Just flash it, you may say. Just stun him, you shout. That's exactly what Nunu wants. Nunu is a support champion and one of the remaining support junglers in the game. It is said that his value as a champion is half and half. He himself is just half the power of a real champion, but he gives his other half to another one of his teammates, like his carry or whatever, and amplifies their power tremendously. Nunu's power comes from how he contributes to the well-being of his team entirely, either directly or indirectly. His abilities all revolve around boosting their strength, diminishing enemy effectiveness, and controlling space and objectives for his team. His value as an individual champion tends to be so puny in comparison to his teammates that him being focused down during a teamfight over his teammates is a huge mistake. Even so, his ultimate has by far one of the most powerful CC components in the entire game. It channels for up to 3 seconds, and anyone on the enemy team within his ultimate loses 50% movement speed and 25% attack speed. The potential gold value he robs the enemy team of is immense. If it channels to full without being interrupted, it will also deal huge levels of damage even if he wasn't built to deal damage. You could flash out of it, you could stun him, and you could focus him down for sure. However, that's a big plus for Nunu regardless, because he's drawing attention away from his teammates and robbing his opponents of more value. You'd want to use your heart CC on the enemy carrier mage, but now you're forced to use it on Nunu or you'll suffer hard. Even without taking into account Nunu's other contributions or the fact that he wants to be a magnet for aggro, the ultimate itself is just that powerful. It robs anyone inside of it of 750 gold value in attack speed and 1975 gold value in movement speed. Now, that's just a gold value taken from a single champion. Imagine that against a full team. The total value of his ultimate is 13,625 gold worth of stats taken from the enemy team for 3 seconds. The ultimate can be used offensively to disrupt the enemy position and attract aggro onto Nunu. It can be used to divide the enemy team by controlling a ton of space in between the two forces. It can be used to completely screw over any aggressors against your carries as you stand on top of them, completely nullifying a lot of offensive power from the assailants, and perhaps forces them to use a few of their combo pieces onto you. Number 4 is Maokai's Vengeful Maelstrom. This one might be difficult for some players to accept because it's such a dual ability, but its power is simply insane. It flat out cuts 20% of the damage dealt to him and his allies within his circle for up to 10 seconds. It deals damage after for sure and gets stronger the more damage is stored, but even if it didn't deal any damage, it would be incredibly powerful. Maokai is called an anti-mage tank for a good reason. At around the time most champions are level 6, most mage champions will only have been able to obtain one tier 2 item, and even then it's usually some sort of sustain item that builds into something stronger later. At that point, they are very reliant on the base values of their abilities in order to kill their targets, since their auto attacks, unlike fighters and AD casters, are likely not amplified in any way. Basically put, they won't be able to deal any meaningful damage against a team under Maokai's ultimate. It can be used offensively and defensively even during the same fight. Maokai could lead the fray with his ultimate blaring, causing the enemy team to either fight at a disadvantage, run away, and lose whatever they may have been defending, or knock him away, thus losing potential crowd control on more valuable targets. Defensively, he can protect your team from poke, from the burst of an assassin, or make an enemy's engage flat out less effective. The ultimate will always have value as it protects Maokai at all times, and the value of the ultimate is multiplicative as a flat percent of damage reduced can have near infinite value. Number 3 is Bard's Tempered Fate. Say what you want about Bard, but his ultimate is just insanely powerful. I personally find Bard to be lackluster overall, but his ultimate is game-swinging and ridiculously powerful. It removes anyone and anything that gets caught in an area of effect from the game for 2.5 seconds. The value of that is immeasurable. In some situations, it can totally screw your team over or win you a team fight. Sometimes it can completely do nothing, and sometimes it can just flat out win the game. It's a high-risk ultimate for sure, but it has so many uses. It can stop enemy momentum and deny them their engage. It can be used to split the enemy team in half by freezing a few important members such as the tanks and then allowing you to dive the squishies. It can freeze enemy targets, which allows your team to gain a window of opportunity to position themselves to deal with the enemy team once they unfreeze. It can protect a teammate or even your entire team for the duration of a painful ultimate like Rumble's ultimate, or run the clock of the enemy's abilities such as Vladimir's Hemoplague. It can even protect objectives like Dragon and Towers. The ultimate's value, like I already said, cannot be measured. It all of course depends on how it is used, but no matter how it's used, whether negatively or positively, it will have a huge immediate swing on the game. Number 2 is Azir's Emperor's Divide. Widely accepted as one of the game's biggest fuck you ultimates, it can immediately reshape the battlefield for either offensive or defensive purposes. Azir's ultimate is different than the other ones previously mentioned in that its power doesn't come in altering stats, although it does grant movement speed, but through power of sheer control. His ultimate can push back multiple enemies for quite a distance and prohibits the enemy from walking through his wall of soldiers. Unlike other walls though, enemies cannot dash through them, though they can blink through it. The reason this ability is so powerful is because it simply forces the enemy to burn their blinks and or flash to avoid the wall or be completely screwed. It automatically shuts down anyone who doesn't have a blink in their kit or has their flash down. In certain locations, it can make it so certain champions cannot contribute a thing during the fight or cannot escape from his wall. Offensively, it traps enemy players and divides the enemy team between his wall. Defensively, it pushes enemy assailants back to protect him or his carries and gives them a wall which can hopefully continue protecting them. It's the most powerful wall because it pushes the enemy far back and usually keeps them there. It sounds so simple, yet it's just so powerful. And number 1 is Orianna's Command Shockwave. Orianna is one of the most beloved champions for junglers. Her utility is just amazing for a mage, and her ultimate is one of the most reassuring ultimates to be ever given to a champion. Her ultimate is reliant on how she positions her ball definitely, but its true power comes when it's attached to a champion. As long as you have a champion with a dash or blink, Orianna can turn that champion into an initiator, or double up someone's already strong initiation with a second initiation tool. Your team could have failed at choosing a proper team composition in Champion Select and picked no initiator, but Orianna can salvage that and create your Jax, Riven, Zed, or whatever into a pseudo initiator when they carry that ultimate. The ultimate itself is nothing to scoff at either, whether it hits while delivered by some other champion or Orianna positioned it herself. It tries to drag everyone to the location of the ball, hopefully clumping them up and making them super vulnerable to follow-up AoE. The ball alone can deter the enemy from approaching a certain area for fear of the ultimate being cast in that area, and thus it can be used as simple deterrence in some situations. Still, as I said, I do not think there is any other champion that flat out grants another champion another potential role. Being able to create your own initiator at a moment's notice using nearly any other champion is what makes this ultimate the single best in my opinion. This ultimate alone opens up different champion decisions you can make during Champion Select 2, as you know you are already starting off strong in the initiation category. Remember to like the video to support the channel and to subscribe if you haven't yet. I have a few sponsors that are helping me maintain this channel, such as Loot Crate and Pro Build Systems. I have links to their websites on the description below. Use my code for a discount, and using my links also directly supports my channel.